Hi again. One of the things that we confront in life, whether you're recovering from a major incident, as I am, and recovering from a stroke, or if we're just making our way through life, is, there's this big temptation that we have to compare ourselves to other people. And I'll tell you, when it comes to stroke recovery, you really can't do that because your stroke is not like anybody else's, and you aren't like anybody else, and your recovery won't be like anybody else's. There may be certain similarities, but there's no way to tell exactly how it's going to go for you. So, I belong to this stroke group. I think I mentioned, and there are people in the group who've had strokes within a couple of years, and they've been made nearly complete recoveries. Which I certainly haven't done. But I can't compare myself to them. Their journey is not my journey. And just in life in general, your journey is not somebody else's. And I've observed over the years that one of the real sources of unhappiness for a lot of people is comparing themselves to somebody else. They think, oh, so and so is happier than I am, better looking than I am, wealthier than I am, whatever. And the reality is that, one, you can't get a complete picture of somebody's life. So you don't know if they're really better off than you. You don't know if they have more self-confidence. Maybe they're faking it. You don't know if they're wealthier than you. Maybe they're living on borrowed money. But if you can't resist the temptation to do that, and I know a lot of people can't, and make themselves miserable in the process, but if you must do that sort of thing, be fair to yourself and compare yourself also against people who are a lot worse off than you are, because there's a lot of them out there. We can lose sight of the fact that there are many things in life that we take for granted, and we think, oh well, I'm so bad off, blah blah blah. And if you have a safe place to live, a roof over your head, if you don't worry about somebody killing you in your sleep, if you have enough to eat, if you have a decent job, reliable transportation, people who care about you, money in the bank, you know what? You are way ahead of the power curve worldwide. So do yourself a favor. If you absolutely must compare yourself to other people, be sure you compare yourself to everybody. Not just people who you think are much better off than you are, because they probably aren't. But also realize how lucky you are in so many ways. You know, I know my mother had this really bad habit that drove me nuts. She would always say, "Oh, things have got to get better. They can't get worse." You know, I would say, "Don't say that." What do you want, the roof to blow off of the house? You want somebody to come down with a major illness and be hospitalized? I mean, things could be a whole lot worse. They may look bad now, but they could be just terrible later on. So don't go asking for trouble, and don't think that other people have it so much better than you. You don't know. So anyway, that's kind of a backhanded way of saying be grateful for what you do have, and realize kind of how fortunate you are. So anyway, any comments are welcome as always. I hope you'll like. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Tell your friends, and we'll see you in the next episode.